When you arrive at the Davidson County website, there are two places that you can go to get to our employment application online. First, if you'll look down here under Quick Links, you'll see a link that says Employment Application Online. And you can click there and it will take you directly to the employment application start page. You can also, from the home page, mouse over Departments and scroll down to Human Resources. Click on Human Resources, then from their menu, mouse over Employment Opportunities, and then click on Employment Application. And this will take you to the start page for the employment application. Once you've read this information here at the top of the page, you want to scroll down here and click on the button that says Complete the Online Job Application. So we'll click here and it will take us to the applicant login page. Now, if you've never registered before or never completed an online application with Davidson County Government, you will not be able to log in. What you need to do is come down here where it says Not Registered Yet and click the Click Here link to register in our application process. You will complete every field here on this form. You'll answer the security question, and then you'll click the register button here at the bottom of the form. Now, I've already registered for demonstration purposes, so I'm going to click this link down here that says Return to Login. Now, when you log in, you will enter your email address, and type in your password, and click the login button. Now you'll be brought to your profile information or your contact information, and this is the information that you filled in when you initially registered. Now, if any of this information is changed, you can change it just by highlighting it and typing over, and then click the Save Information button. Now, once you've done this and you've made changes to your information or not, you can click the Save Information button and it will tell you that your profile information was successfully saved. Then it asks you to either click the previous step or next step. So we're going to click Next Step. This brings us to Education. At any time while you're filling out the application, you can advance to any of these sections just by clicking on one of the buttons over here on the left side. Now, when you complete your education information, you will answer the highest grade completed. So with grade school, you'll enter the highest grade, either 12 or GED. You'll enter the number of years that you spent in college and any years that you spent in graduate school. Beside each of the titles for each section up here is a little button that you can click to collapse each section. This makes it easier to work with so you don't have to scroll down the page. Next, you'll fill out your high school information, the address and the dates attended, and whether or not you graduated, yes or no. After that, it asks for technical or community college information. Now, here you see that I haven't filled in any technical or community college information. However, I did enter information into each field. And I entered NA for not applicable. The reason that I did this instead of leaving it blank is that our HR department will not know if I purposely left this blank or if I went to a technical or a community college. They will not know. By entering something in each one of these fields except for the dates, I'm letting the Human Resources Department know that this information is not applicable to my application. Next, I'll enter the college or university that I attended. I'll enter the name and location of the university, the dates I attended, whether or not I graduated, the number of semester or credit hours I attained, any majors or minors that I received, and the type of degree that I received. Next is another college or university. If you went to more than one, then you can enter this information here. If not, then once again you'll notice that I completed each field so that Human Resources will know that I didn't forget to fill out this information. I purposely entered NA for not applicable so that our Human Resources Department would know that this information is not applicable to my application. Next, I'll enter any graduate or professional information. Once again, you see that I have entered NA into all the fields and I did not complete the month fields. This lets our Human Resources Department know that graduate or professional information for my application is not applicable. Last, I'll enter any other education that I've had, vocational schools, internships, etc., and I'll enter that information here. And if I've made changes to anything above in this information, I click Save Changes, and it tells me your education saved successfully. Now I can click Next Step, pardon me, which will take me to Training and Licenses, or I can click Previous Step, which will take me back to my applicant profile. So I'm going to click Next Step. When you arrive at Training and Licenses, you want to complete each question here on this form. If information is not applicable, enter NA into the field so that our Human Resources Department will know that this information is not applicable to your application. Once you've entered this information or made any changes, you can come down here and click the Save Information button. Here it tells you that Training and Licenses was saved successfully. Now you can either click Next Step, which will take you to the general information, or you can click Previous Step, which will take you back to Education. So I'm going to click Next Step so that we can go to General Information. Now once here at the General Information page, we will answer each question, and you'll notice once again that where questions are not applicable to me, I've entered NA into the fields. Once I've completed each one of these questions, I'll come down here at the bottom and click the Save Information button to make sure that my information is saved. And it tells me your general information was saved successfully. Now I can click Next Step or Previous Step. If I click Previous Step, it will take me back to Training and Licenses, and if I click Next Step, it will take me to Employment History. So I'm going to click Next Step. Now at the Employment History page, the first thing you want to do is come up here and click on the Add Past Employment button. You will have the opportunity to add more than one past employer and all the information pertaining to that employment. So let's click the Add Past Employment button. Here we see a form where we're asked for our employer's name, address, city, state, zip, and we'll complete all of this information on this form. Once we've completed all of this information, we'll click the Save Information button. Now, for demonstration purposes, I have no information to enter here, so I'm going to click Cancel so that it will take me back to my list of employment history. Now, at any time that I need to edit or delete any of my employment history, I can click Delete to delete my employer here, my doodah, or I can click Delete here to delete Soy King, or I can click on Edit to edit this information. Here, when I click on Edit, it brings the information into the fields. I can change any part of this information, and once I've made my changes, I can click Save Information down here at the bottom. And once again, it brings me back to my list of past employers. And if I need to add a new one, I can come up here and click on Add Past Employment. And here's the form with all the fields left blank so that I can add a new past employment. If I need to edit any of these, I'll just click on Edit. And I can edit and change any of this information I need to. Now, once I've completed my past employment, I can click Next Step, which will take me to the affidavit confirmation, or I can click Previous Step, which will take me back to general information. As I mentioned earlier, at any time that you're filling out each one of these areas of our application, you can come over here and click on each area. If I need to go back to education, I can click on education. If I need to go to employment history, I can click on employment history. So at any time that I'm filling out my information, I can click on a button over here to go directly to that section of our application. So once I've completed my employment history, I'm going to come down here and click Next Step. Here's our affidavit for completing our online application. You should read this information, and after reading this, you're required to check this checkbox down here at the bottom and then click Save Information. If you do not check this checkbox and click Save Information, your application will not be accepted by our Human Resources Department. So, be sure here on the affidavit confirmation that you scroll down, that you click that you have read the information above, and click the Save Information button. And once again, it tells you that your affidavit was saved successfully. Now you can either click Next Step, which will take you to your resume, or Previous Step, which will take you back to your employment history. I'm going to click Next Step. At the resume page, which is optional, you can copy and paste your resume right into this field. Now, unfortunately, I do not have my resume here with me, but if copy and paste is something that's difficult for you, feel free to type in your resume right into the field. And you can keep on typing and complete your resume just by typing the information in. If you have a cover letter, you can also paste it into the resume field here so that both your cover letter and your resume are contained within the resume field here. Once you've completed this information, just click Save Information, and it will tell you your resume information was successfully saved. Now you can either click Next Step or Previous Step. Previous Step will take you back to the affidavit confirmation, and Next Step will allow you to apply for positions. So we're going to click Next Step. Here you see a list of all the vacant positions offered by Davidson County Government. When you find the position that you want to apply for, just come over here and click the Apply button beside of that position. It gives you information about the position, and once you see this information and you're sure that this is the position that you want to apply for, just click the Apply button. When you do, it tells you your application for this position was successfully submitted to the Human Resources Department. Applications are processed daily and forwarded to the appropriate department for their review. If you have applied for positions and you haven't heard anything regarding the status of your submittals, feel free to contact Human Resources at 336-242-2210. Thank you. So, now you can go back to the vacant positions list and apply for any other position that you want to apply for, or you can continue with the application just by going over here to Application History. Here it shows you all the positions that you've applied for. Once you've completed all this information in the online application, then you'll come down here and click on Log Out and log out of the application.